All right. Let's see. I don't know. The nerd of all says, "What are your favorite Zelda glitches?" I'm sure there's some
Ooh.
people like the real glitch heads out there who they hear this and they're like, "Ooh, I got one." But for me, I'm like, it's like hard to,
I have
There
one.
you
are
know.
It's not very
there are
appropriate
some
though.
Oh, we'll
There's
bleep it.
there's okay, so like if you do the Crimea quest, there's a glitch to make it so that when Link is talking to her, his face, they like accidentally are like standing like right in front of each other instead of like standing 5 feet apart talking, and so his
Oh
face is
no.
just kind of like
yeah.
uh
Oh
and the whole
man.
time he's like doing his little like idle animation. Like it's so
It's
silly.
not your fault Nintendo did this, They messed up.
It's very funny.
We got to live with it.
There are like some I did a while ago, a few years back. I did a playthrough of Ocarina of Time where I was like, just for funsies, I'm gonna try and do this playthrough in the most unorthodox order. And I learned a bunch of glitches that usually people use for like speedrunning and stuff,
Yeah.
specifically so that I could do it like almost completely out of order. Like I left like Navi Dive is a famous one that's very fun where
Mhm.
you use Navi's text box to just like drop through water and stuff. And there's another really fun one in that game. It's like a hook shot jump or something where like you use the hook shot like really close up to a wall and something weird about the mechanics just launches you into the sky.
Weird.
And that's you can use that to like get into the Shadow Temple without Nocturne. And like there's just a
Oh.
bunch of really fun goofy
That
glitches in that game.
There's a similar thing you're making me think of. I think it was like the third ZD marathon. I think my memory's bad on some of these things, but I think the gimmick was it was like a team Ocarina of Time race, where I think there was like maybe two teams or three teams, two people, and you just switch off or whatever. And I might have the facts a little bit off, but from what I recall, I think Locke was on a team with Trevor, and I don't remember if Locke was like a fully like it known that he was going to be playing it or something. There was some weird thing where he was like, well, I guess I'm doing this. So he
Oh.
started the game off, and what I recall is him looking up these glitches and doing them on the spot, but not to benefit them, just to like
Yeah, just
make
to
it
do 'em.
weird. So he did something like he got out of the Great Deku Tree like without even getting the I think the slingshot even, and then
Mhm.
like going to like beneath the well or something, and
Yeah.
he just did some goofy stuff. And I think he was on a team with Trevor, and Trevor was like sleeping because he was like doing a lot of tech. And he wakes up and Locke's like, all right, here you go. And he's like trying to figure out like what they don't have and what they do have.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
that made, I think they might have even won. I don't recall, but
No,
it
that
was
stuff that
weird.
stuff is like you can make Ocarina of Time so wonky. Like that is also when I left Deku Forest early or Kokiri Forest early. Like one of the first things I did is that there's a glitch you can do where you can go through like the specific corner in Kakariko and clip through the wall. And if you have a Kuko near you, you can grab it through the wall and then jump out of bounds and float underneath Kakariko Village into the entrance of
Yeah.
bottom of the well. So like you do random stuff like that just to get into dungeons early, and it's like super fun. There are a bunch of like random speed running, not really like glitches, but like little techs and tricks for a lot of games. Like A Link to the Past has fake flippers where like you
Yeah.
screen transition while you're jumping into water,
Hmm.
and it allows you to swim when you don't have the flippers. And there's the one where
Mm.
like while you're pushing a block forward, you can hook shot through it to like get past it quickly
Oh.
to like optimize movement and stuff. That's just like for anything in Link to the Past. When you're pushing a block, like the collision's not there. So you can like do stuff through it pretty much.
Weird.
Ooh, remember we did like after we beat that year at the marathon where we did 2 players, 1 controller. for Legend of
Yeah.
Zelda. I think it was Blake or someone showed us how to do like one of those block clips, and we
Yes.
managed to do that in the original Legend of Zelda. Yeah, there's a bunch of silly
While sharing a
glitches and
controller.
stuff. Yeah.
You like any glitches?
I feel like I don't know.
We're not
glitches that
glitchers, you
well.
know?
Like I know some. I mean, all the speedruns I've done have been glitchless, but some of the things you do kind of feel like glitches.
Yeah,
like,
where it's like I'm not supposed to do
like
this.
you're clipping through
Yeah.
stuff and like Phantom Hourglass with the boomerang, or
Yeah.
you know, with the hammer and Wind Waker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like it technically isn't, but you're like, come on, this
Yeah, I'm kind of like, what is the line drawn? Like,
Yeah, that's why it's like some are very glitches, like Skyward Sword Back in Time. Have you ever seen speedruns where they use
Oh
Back in
yeah,
Time?
that's well. I mean,
Screws the whole. It looks so insane.
it ruins the entire game.
what's that one?
It's
You could only do it on the Wii because it involved the Wii menu.
Yes,
Um,
I've
it's-
seen Locke do that
Yeah.
as well.
yeah, it's like a thing where you're able to activate. You're able to activate certain flags in like the main menu of the game, but it still has like a save state loaded, so it's like you're able to
Yeah.
basically skip gigantic chunks of the game.
It's
Like,
weird.
you're able to activate. Yeah, it's
That's cool.
It is really weird. And there's like silly ones like the Twilight Princess like boomerang long jump or something. Where,
Oh,
like,
yeah, that
you
one's
use the
fun.
Boomerang, then you can
and like
jump
that's
wicked
not.
far.
I wouldn't call that a glitch.
No,
right?
yeah,
Like that's like an
just a little-
exploitation, right?
Yeah.
And like wind bombs in
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild, which is super fun,
Mhm.
or even just like whistle sprinting.
Whistle sprinting, yeah.
Right? Like that's a
Mhm.
glitch, I guess.
They're just like
but
little,
it's like,
little techs, little exploits.
but it's fun. It's
There's-
like little things that we find.
I like that stuff.
There were some things we did like when I had to do Link's Awakening DX that were similar, where that's like they're not technically glitches, and that's actually something that kind of appealed to me about them. There was like there's one where like, you know, in Angler's Tunnel you have to like run and jump over a pit, and it's like a cross intersection.
Mhm.
So like,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
supposed to jump over the pit one way and then
Go
come
up.
from the top and jump, but you can actually do it where you jump and go up. if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
Time it
If you
right.
time it right,
And,
yeah.
there's a couple little things like that throughout the game where like, oh, you can actually like you through the movement of the game like force
Yeah.
your way onto this.
It's more of like a trick
ledge.
instead of a glitch.
Yeah.
you know?
And
Yeah.
when at first I like did want to do it, but then when I did, I was like, oh, like I actually felt like, yeah, I did a cool trick.
Yeah, it almost feels like something they'd publish in like Nintendo Power, right? Like, did you know
Yeah.
you can do this
Yeah,
little trick
yeah.
to get past this thing? You know?
Mhm.
I just thought of one of the tricks from Wind Waker,
What's that?
the Temple of the Gods first floor skip.
Oh
Where
yeah.
you like jump
that's a
off
cool one.
a platform and glide and like go through the waterfall.
Yeah.
That's
You
awesome.
gotta gotta just get on one of the pillars
Really?
and like time it right with the Deku leaf, and you can just like get through and go upstairs.
Yeah,
We
I
were
The
trying
remember.
first floor
to do it
sucks.
I remember learning how to do it, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm never gonna be able to do this, but I have to do this because everybody else playing Wind Waker this year has been doing it for years."
Oh, okay.
Brutal.
And then when I got it, I was finally like, "Yeah."
I did.
Satisfaction.
This was a couple years ago. I started learning Wind Waker HD like any percent, right? So like it's like pure glitches, right? And I
Yeah,
got about
they're crazy
6
movement
minutes into the
patterns.
run before I gave up. The only reason being I kept freezing my Wii U because
Oh,
if you
God.
item slide incorrectly, it uses up all of the memory and just like bricks it. And it's like you have to fully restart your Wii U. And I'm like, I got so
That's
tired of doing that I was like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. Props to the people that can item slide well because it's fun. It's very fun, but it's hard as heck. So props to those
Yeah.
people.
Shout out to the glitchers out there.
Yeah.
Shout out to the
Shout out to the
Cheers.
glitchers.
Let's hear it for the glitchers.
Cheers.
to the glitchers.
Hey.
da, 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 da.